Hello YouTube Ready Reptiles here with another video, and in today's video I'm going to take you guys a tour around my backyard and show you guys all my pets. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video and let's get started. Alrighty, so right now it's a little bit early in the sense that the tortoises are not up yet. We got some of them awake, some of them are still coming out of their burrows and things. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rake up their habitat. As you can see, I've started just a little bit. Also like that, by the time they're up, they'll have a clean, fresh habitat. I'll be able to put some food and we can highlight each individual animal. Alright, so now that we got to clean, let's meet some of the tortoises. So the majority of the tortoises that I keep are sulcata tortoises, but I do have some different species like radiateds and aldabras. So right here, these three, this is Gabs. Gabs is one of my larger females, as you guys know if you've been following the channel. She was the original female that I got right after Goobs, which is the only largest male, the biggest male that I have here. I have another male, Win, which you guys will meet him later on. But Goobs now is about 22, 23 years old. Gabs is around 14, 13 years old, depending. And all the way at the end, there is Daisy. Daisy, I don't know an exact age for her, but I'm estimating she is around, at least over 10, maybe in the 13-year range as well. So these guys are just trying to get some of that early morning sun. As you can see, I cleaned up the habitat with those time lapses. You can also see the hay pile that I left right there. And obviously the sun is getting on this side, which we got those two tortoises, which we'll meet soon. But as it peeks over this bamboo tree, it'll, sunshine all of this, and they'll get to bask as well. All right, so over in this section of the habitat, which is where Goobs, Gabs, Daisy, you guys just saw, still hang out. This is Gaia. Gaia is one of my smaller females. And as you can see, she shares this burrow with Gabs, but she still has yet to come out yet because, like I explained previously, the sun hasn't peaked yet, so it isn't fully basking out inside their habitat. So once that hits, they'll come out and they'll bask. But just like Daisy, which I got them at the same time, they're around the same age. So I'm guessing around over 10 at least, but maybe in that 13-year range. It's really hard to tell with tortoises the size and age ratio because they all grow differently. They all have genetic variation and diversity. But as you can see, she is a smaller female. She's actually very, very sweet as well. And as you can see, she built that burrow. These burrows, I have them still covered up. And for those that are wondering, here's an overview of their habitat. And as we make our way all the way to the tortoise run, which I like to call it, these guys, like I said, are still trying to get that early morning sun. Because it is still quite early in the sense that the animals, being that they are crepuscular, meaning that they like to come out when the sun comes out and like to go to sleep when the sun goes down, they're still trying to wake up. And since reptiles in general, they need to thermoregulate, they need to power themselves up with the sun, we're still waiting for that to happen so that they can be more active. All right, so right next door to this habitat, we jump right over and we are in Win and Dixie's pen. They're soon to get moved over to another section. I'm just making sure things are okay over there. But Win is the one in front, Dixie is behind him, and together they make Win Dixie, like the supermarket, if you guys are familiar with that. As you guys notice, Win has a very light colored shell, very beautiful tortoise. When he's wet and clean, he's a very, very nice yellowish tone, very lighter for a sulcata. And Dixie behind him, which is just a little bit dirty because they hang out in the dirt all day. She's a lot darker than him. But as you can see, they're just basking in that morning sun. Estimated to be about 10 years old each because I've already gotten one clutch from Dixie. You guys saw that video. And Win is that male who's been breeding her. So they're both sexually mature. But like I explained previously, it is very hard to tell the exact age of a tortoise. I've seen animals smaller than these guys be a lot older. And I've also seen animals a lot larger be a lot younger. So they hang out in this section of the yard. It is not that big, but it is more than enough for these guys. They meet their needs, food, water. They like to dig, they like to hide in various places. But I will be transferring them over to the other side of the yard here soon, and I'll hopefully make a video about that. And of course, they hang out below this tortoise table where we house Pop-Tart and Bagel Bite, which you guys will see later on in the video. This is also going to get an upgrade here soon. But as you can see, they're basking. They're going to get some lettuces here later, and they're enjoying their day. This next tortoise free roams the yard because recently, for the past couple weeks, she wasn't eating. She was being a little bit lethargic. Nothing that I saw any respiratory infection or things like that, but she wasn't acting normal. And when sulcata tortoises don't eat, to me, that's a very bad sign because these guys are eating machines. They're very food motivated. As you can see right behind me, her name is Largo. So Largo right now is just enjoying this morning sun. She hangs out in the section of my yard by the iguanas and the other tortoises that I just showed you. She basically free roams. She roams a small area eating grasses, drinking water when I offer her her water dish. And of course, she eats different produces and things like that. So she has been eating. She's being very active, which is a great sign. So she's bounced back 100%. And I'm just very happy that she's able to make a recovery. This animal came to me as a rescue, just like most of my animals do. And when I got her, she was living in a field by herself, loose, completely, not being watched in Key Largo. Nobody owned this animal. They just kind of found her, and she was living in this field for several months. So I'm guessing she was used to being, obviously loose, one, two, grazing all day, and maybe she just kind of had a shock factor when she arrived here. But as you can see, she's doing a lot better. I was able to monitor her and make sure that everything's okay. And as you notice, her shell coloration is very light as well. She's not as dirty as the other ones because obviously she isn't in the dirt all the time. But between her and Win, I think they have the prettiest shells in my tortoise area. So as I make my way from the other section of the yard where we have Goobs, Gabs, Gaia, Win, Dixie, Pop-Tart, and Bagel by the iguanas, Largo, I walk all the way to the other side of the yard where I have a separate habitat for another group of sulcata tortoises that you guys may have seen in previous videos. I keep my Aldabra here, Aristotle, and of course Buster, who is not outside right now because his wings are too long. But so you guys can have a pretty much of an overview for the newer viewers. Right here, what you can see is Aristotle. This is Aristotle's pen. And if we make our way over to this section, which you guys saw the video of my father and I building this area, we have only one female sulcata tortoise in here for now. Her name is Violet. A little bit of background before we show Violet. Violet is a 60-year-old plus female sulcata tortoise. Likely she was imported years ago from Africa, which is very illegal then. It's completely illegal right now. So this is something that, she came into the country years ago, has been in captivity for a long time. And that's just kind of a rough estimate, basically based off of her shell structure, based off of her age, based off of some injuries that she has on top of the shell. So she's all the way back there, but as you can see, they've destroyed all of this. I used to have a lot more sulcatas in here, but I had to rehome them back to where I previously got them. And the reason being is because when I purchased them initially, they had a slight respiratory infection, and I was told that it was going to clear up after some medication, which I went ahead and did the task of doing that. But after several months, it didn't. It started spreading to my other tortoises, and I just wanted to be safe, so I went ahead and sent them back. Very understanding the person I got them from. We worked out a deal once again, and I still just kept this girl here. So as you can see, she's very, very large. She's all the way back inside this heated shelter. Obviously right now it's not being heated, but she hangs out here by herself all day long. Plenty of sun, water, food. Sometimes the grass is growing back. This is where I will be putting Win and Dixie, just making sure that this girl right here is completely safe and healthy. It's been a few months since I rehomed those tortoises, and obviously she's doing good, so I don't have anything to worry about. But just in case, I want to make sure that she's okay. Potentially we may be getting a larger male here soon. Because I had somebody reach out to me as well, which is perfect for this girl because she is very, very large. And hopefully when she makes her way over here, I'll do another clip so you guys can see her up close. All right, so we got her to come a little bit closer. She came on her own actually, but I'm just going to be feeding her a little cactus pad. As you can see, she's a very, very large female. I would say this is a great max size for a female sulcata. Obviously the males can reach a lot larger in size, but being that she is estimated over 60 years old, it's very impressive, her story. And just being that she's this old is just amazing because she's a survivor. She's made it this long, and obviously we know that tortoises are long-lived animals, but all the adversity that she probably has faced in the different generations and things like that she's made it through are super, super key. And I wish I could show you. Let me see if I can get a nice little good view. Right there on the back, you can kind of see there's a little bit of an injury. It seems to me, being that she could have possibly been imported years ago, like I explained previously, maybe that's a bite from a lion. Maybe something got her out there in the savannas of Africa. Who knows? We'll never know. Even the person that I got her from doesn't know exactly where she came from. But she is over 60 years old, which is super, super cool. and just awesome to see. You know, I'm glad she's still around with me. All right, guys, so just a little bit of change of pace here. We're gonna move on for the tortoises for a little bit, and we're gonna show you Buster. Buster is a blue and gold macaw. He is a rescue of mine. I've had him for over a year now, and he's doing great. He's, you know, bounced back 100%. His feathers are doing awesome. We still have a little bit of, you know, bad tail feather growth, but he's shedding them out. As you can see with this bag of feathers that I have, he pops them out every once in a while, and we just put them in there because I like to have the feathers. So as you can see, Buster's eating, and he usually is outside, but I have him inside for the last couple of days because I need to make an appointment so he can get his wings clipped. As we know, birds fly, and he cannot be, you know, outside like this without his wings clipped because I don't want him to fly away, even though I don't think he would because he's very habituated and bonded with me. I do not want him to, you know, be outside and be, you know, a threat to the local native wildlife and obviously into our ecosystem. He is a pet of mine. I don't really have any other birds. I had an Indian ringneck. I had some cockatiels. I had to move on from them just because I needed time to do school. But Buster will always stay with me. And as you can see, he's eating. He's doing a lot better. And like I said, he usually hangs out outside in that tiki hut that I'll show you guys later on. But for today, he'll be inside. I also have some furry friends. This is Louie. Louie is a rescue as well. I've had him for 3 years. Louie's hanging out inside the reptile room with me right now because I have to clean all of this mess that this bird makes. So whenever I'm doing this, I like to put Louie's bed in here. He hangs out with me. We spend time with each other, and he's great. I also have a surprise at the end of the video. We got a new little puppy to show you guys. Right, Louie? And of course, if you are an original OG to the channel, you guys know who this snake is. This is Sparky. Sparky was and is my first snake ever. He is still around. He's still kicking. He eats great. He's the only snake that I own now. As you guys know, I used to have a lot of ball pythons. I had boas. I had blood pythons. I had different animals. Different snakes rather. Now I focus on endangered species, macaws, tortoises. My niche is tortoises. I really enjoy that. Back here I usually have my radiateds and my young Aldabra Play-Doh, but they're already outside, which we're going to show you in the next clip. But I want to give you guys an update, show you guys how Sparky is doing. He's got to be over, how many years now? At least over 12 years old. I've had him for a long time. And real quick, I'll show you guys in here. There are some tortoise eggs incubating. This is the clutch that I uploaded a few weeks back. Dixie's 10 eggs. They're all pretty fertile. So I'll give you guys an update on that in another video as well. But I want to give you guys an update on Sparky. And for all that background noise, there's Buster. He throws food down like crazy. So if you are going to get a bird, understand that they do make a mess. But I love them. We got to deal with it. So this is Sparky. All right, so this setup right here is because I soak the tortoises every day in direct sunlight. But before I start soaking all the baby tortoises and introducing to you guys and showing you guys them on the channel, I'm going to go to the tubs where I keep them. These are usually covered with those wood planks, but for the case of the video, I'm going to take it off. So to start off right here in this tub, these are very temporary setups as well, just so you guys can understand. Here is Play-Doh. Play-Doh is my youngest and newest Aldabra tortoise. Usually I have Play-Doh outside with Aristotle, but I just want to grow this guy up a little bit more just to give him some size and make sure that he's really eating before I introduce him obviously to Aristotle more in depth and let them cohabitate together, because contrary to popular belief, Aldabra tortoises are very social animals. So they like being in large herds and groups together. So these guys are going to do great. They've already been together multiple times, but like I said, I want to really make sure that Play-Doh is eating before I put him with Aristotle. All right, so right here are my 5 critically endangered radiated tortoises from Madagascar. Before I put them to soak, I'm going to introduce you guys them individually. This one right here is 11. This is the oldest one that I have. Then we follow with Hopper, Flare, then we got Star Platinum, and we got Malagasy, the youngest. All 5 of these guys are captive bred and born. Obviously, we want to support captive breeding in case of all animals, but in case of these critically endangered species, we want to also really strive to make assurance colonies. So hopefully in the future, when these guys grow up and are ready to breed, I'll be able to have a nice, stable, established group, so like that we can produce and put more of these radiated tortoises on the planet. All right, so inside the tortoise table is Pop-Tart and Bagel Bite. These are my almost 2 years old, 1.5 years sulcata tortoises. These guys have been raised outside their entire life, and as you can see, they have beautiful shell growth. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna grab them, As you guys also know, they hang out above Win and Dixie. I'm just grabbing them. I'm going to move them to their watering sections where I like to soak all the tortoises. For those that don't know, soaking is very beneficial for your young tortoises and even the adults every once in a while because we like to give them a place where they can, one, absorb some UVB rays from the sun, obviously hydrate themselves by drinking the water, and of course we can monitor any feces or pee that they put in the water. So there we got Play-Doh, we got Pop-Tart and Bagel Bite, we got all 5 radiated tortoises. And of course, last but not least, as far as the tortoises go, we've got Aristotle. Aristotle is my largest Aldabra tortoise. I've had Aristotle for over a year now, and as you can see, the growth has been exponential. So I'm very excited for Play-Doh, the other Aldabra tortoise, to get to this size, and obviously when they both get very large. But I also soak Aristotle every day with the rest of the tortoises. For those that may wonder or ask, how long do I soak for? I soak for about 20 to 30 minutes minimum. I usually go into the 30-40 minute range, obviously making sure that the water is nice and clean. But as you can see, Aristotle is beautiful, very nice smooth shell growth. You can see these white growth rings growing around them, and the rest are right. All right, so here's an overview. Here's Aristotle, the largest Aldabra tortoise. There we got Play-Doh, the youngest Aldabra tortoise. We got Pop-Tart and Bagel Bite, the 1.5, almost 2-year-old sulcata tortoises. And we got all 5 critically endangered radiated tortoises. As you guys know, these guys come from Madagascar. These guys come from Africa, the Sahel region part of Africa. And these guys come from the Seychelles Islands in the Indian Ocean. All right, so as far as lizards go, I do have a pair of Lewisii hybrid iguanas. For those that don't know, these are a Caribbean iguana. They are species of Cyclura, and they are hybridization between a Cuban rock iguana and a Grand Cayman black or blue iguana. You guys saw a recent video of mine when I redid this entire habitat, giving them a very Caribbean-like feel. And as you guys see, Mando here, which is the male, hides in this burrow. And inside that burrow, she has not come out yet, is Meg. And these guys are severely fired down right now because they are just waking up. They are just coming out of their burrows, so they haven't gotten the sun yet. So they will get a little bit more blue. They will fire themselves up a little bit more. But for those that haven't seen those other videos, I really recommend you checking them out. But we have added platforms to their habitat. And of course, we made it as Caribbean-like as possible with a yard of sand, lots of logs, rocks, things like that. And I'm just very glad that I was able to get Mando on camera. As you can see, he's still dirty because they love to burrow. This is what they would do in the wild. They would find rock outcrops like this. They wedge themselves down. They make these nice little tunnels. And as long as it's safe for them to, you know, stay under there, I allow it to. And of course, if the weather sees fit as well. So along with my reptiles and birds and my animals, I also keep fish. I've always kept fish my entire life. And right now, housed in this 75-gallon tank, which I just made completely bare, is my pair, or, you know, 2 large Oscars. I love these guys. This one's name is Orinoco. This one's name is Amazona. Basically Amazon and Orinoco, the river, the area where they come from. So very beautiful fish. I also have a rhino pleco, and this tank, like I said, I had to make it bare because these guys at night, they used to touch the plants and the rocks that I have, and they would freak out. So like that, I can give them the most space possible and the absolute you know, amount of growth that they can have. I want to give them the best life as well. So as you can see, these guys are my Oscars. I'm very, very happy that I had these fish. I've always used to keep African cichlids, different tropical fish, and you know, I used to have salt water and things like that. But right now in this tank, which is in my room, I have these 2 guys. And of course, last but not least, who is being crate trained and sleeping from waking up from a nap, is my newest little puppy. Her name is Kalisa. Kalisa is an American Staffordshire Terrier. She is a blue brindle. She comes from a line of AKC champions as well. So I'm very, very happy that I was able to get this little girl as well. I used to have another dog named Roxy. Roxy was a Maltese. And Roxy recently passed away from just being of old age. You know, she made it to 15 years old, which is amazing. So in the midst of Roxy passing, in the midst of grief as well, my family and I, we decided to get another little dog here. And this is Kalisa. She's awesome. So I can't wait to show you guys the growth she has alongside Louie, my other dog. And of course, these guys are the protectors of the tortoises, protectors of all the animals in the backyard. And they're also family friends. And they're just family overall. We love these guys. I love all my animals. So it's very, you know, hard not to keep reptiles and not have dogs as well. I'm an animal lover overall, so is my family. So right now she's in my room waking up from her nap, but just stay tuned for more videos with her, with Louie, my other dog. And as you can see, you know, she's just being a puppy. Ain't that right, Kalisa? All right, guys, so just to kind of wrap up the video here, I really hope you guys enjoyed seeing all my animals, from my tortoises, my fish, my dogs, my birds, my snake Sparky. I really want you guys to comment down below what was your favorite animal in the video, favorite animal of mine that I own. And of course, I would really like you guys to suggest any content that you guys want to see specifically, whether it's how to care for certain tortoises, certain iguanas, how to just, you know, do things with my animals, and just kind of see what I do on a daily basis as well. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, it's not about having so many animals every time. It's about caring for each animal individually, specifically, and with lots of love behind it. As you guys know, I'm a very passionate individual. I do this because I love it. You know, my tortoises, I really found a special place with them, especially the most endangered ones that I own as well, because I really want to do more for conservation with them. And of course, you know, stay tuned, because I'm always getting new animals. I'm always getting rid of animals, getting new animals in. I rescue a lot of animals as well, so stay tuned for videos like that as well. And of course, if you haven't already, please check me out on TikTok, Ready Reptiles, and on Instagram at Ready Reptiles as well, where I post daily content. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate all the constant support, and see you, my fellow herpers.